put the turkey on the grill and you quit right in here for this, and then you go.
No, for having turkey.
I'm all for steak on Thanksgiving, but no brisket.
Turkey makes me sleepy, so.
At the, you got some guys with illnesses. Is there any concern that might, I don't know, spread or whatever to other guys or?
Yeah, I mean, it is very similar to, I would say, we had this happen in 2019, where it seemed like everybody was getting sick, but I think our medical staff's doing a good job of staying on top of these guys, and if guys we've been testing them for everything, and if they get the flu, then we're keeping them out.
Hey Matt, this Eagles team, they like hardly turned the ball over at all when they started 8-0. Now the last couple of weeks, they've turned it over a bunch. Is that something you guys think you can maybe continue a bad trend for them?
Well, I think every game's a little bit different, and certainly you want to try to put them in positions to, turn the ball over. But ultimately, we got to go out there, and we need everybody, playing their assignments, playing physical, and then potentially turnovers can happen.
Aaron told us yesterday that his thumb was broken. Was there ever any thought to sitting him down for a week or 3 or whatever?
No, I mean, Aaron's one of the toughest guys I've ever been around in terms of just being able to battle through multiple injuries. So that never crossed my mind. It's more or less the conversation in terms of how he communicates with us and where he's at. And certainly, I know he told you guys he's played through a lot worse. So, he's just he's old school tough.
Did you have to do anything game plan wise or play calling wise to adapt?
The only thing is, I think we were mindful of, especially when we were out at practices, just how much stuff we had under center.
He insisted that it hasn't affected his accuracy. I assume that's at least in part the competitor and not wanting to make excuses. Do you think it's affected his accuracy in some instances?
I mean, that's tough for me to say because I really don't know how it feels. I do know that it is definitely more difficult and challenging when you're a quarterback and you have something wrong with your hand. It can create some obstacles, but he's seemed to maneuver around it for the most part pretty well.
Did you ever do that during your career?
No, I don't believe so.
As a guy, and we've all thrown a football, but not to the level that you guys have, I would think the thumb is a big deal, right?
Who's you guys? You mean those guys?
Well, I'm not. I guess I was talking about you and Aaron. Obviously, you've thrown the football a lot more than just chucking it around the yard.
Sure.
So I would think it's a big deal, but as someone who knows a lot more about throwing a football, is it a big deal?
Well, I think it potentially could be. I don't know. I can't get inside his body and tell you exactly how it feels. But yeah, I think it potentially could be a big deal. But like I said, he's as tough as they come, and he's going to fight through it.
You were a college quarterback, though, so you know a little thing about throwing the ball. Some of these shorter...
Nobody said I was any good, so...
I didn't play quarterback, let alone in college, but some of these shorter throws that he's missed this year that have been in the past gimmies or automatic layups, is that maybe where the thumb is seen the most?
Yeah, potentially. We'd have to go through every throw and...
While you're busy selling yourself short as a quarterback, I'm curious about, Aaron has made several references to wanting to go up-tempo offensively. What do you think of that idea?
Yeah, if we feel like it's going to give us the best opportunity to win a game, then that's exactly where we'll go. But, I think you have a different plan each and every week. And if you think you can gain an advantage, not only from an offensive standpoint, but from a just overall team standpoint, then certainly I'm always up for whatever's going to help us win the game, bottom line.
In your mind, what are the pros and what are the cons of it?
Well, the pros are potentially getting more simplistic defenses. The cons are if you do go up tempo and it doesn't work, then your defense is out there a little bit quicker and you don't get a chance to recover.
What have you seen from Philly's run defense? Statistically, they're not very good, but they were really good, especially second half last week against Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, no, I just think they're big and they're physical, and they present they've got some nice front structures that they can present that can eliminate the run game in terms of they've got different ways to get to basically a 6-1 type front, or they have, a 5 bigs package that they'll put out there and get into what we call jam fronts, where basically every offensive lineman's covered. So they've got different ways to do that, and then I think their safeties and nickel can support the run pretty well. And when they do that, it makes it a little bit more difficult to run against.
I want to circle back to Aaron real quick for a second. We heard from him yesterday how he refused to make any excuses for, missing some throws or anything like that, any excuses about the thumb. Just from a messaging standpoint to a team going through a tough stretch, what does that say about we can power through this and just the messaging to his teammates?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a great example of, because bottom line, we're in a business that is obviously a results-oriented business, and really at the end of the day, whatever challenges each team faces in this league, nobody really cares. It's about getting the results. Now, I'm a big believer, like I've said before, in terms of how you go about your process will tend to lead to better results. So, but at the end of the day, you just got to find a way to get it done.
Bill asked Aaron yesterday if he was having any fun. I understand that there's folks that want you guys to be miserable because of where the record is and stuff. How do you as a coach balance, we're pissed that we're not playing as well as we can, but you can't make it miserable to come to work every day. How do you kind of approach that?
I think we approach it pretty much the same way. I mean, I've said it, and I know you guys probably make fun of me, but it really truly is the 1-0 mindset and mentality, and that's why I think the process is so important. You try to keep a consistency within your process and how you do things, and you got to be able to ride the wave, so to speak, and you can't get too high or you can't get too low. And I do believe in trying to create an environment where it is enjoyable to come to work, and you're going to get better results because of that. So I think you can't just approach it with the mentality, hey, we're going to enjoy when we're winning and we're going to be miserable when we're losing. I think that comes along with it naturally, like where it does become more of a challenge and whatnot when things aren't going the way you necessarily want them to go, and it certainly winning is fun. So, but I think along, again, the lines of the process, you want to have some consistency within that.
You guys had so much regular season success the first 3 years. You didn't face anything quite like this. When you were talking about DQ the other day and about the basketball hoop, which people, who weren't here don't remember you talking about that in 19. Are there other things that you took from, other stops where things got rough that you can either lean on, just because you don't have that much experience with things going poorly here during your time?
Yeah, I think we've all been. I mean, anybody that's been in this business long enough there's going to be some trials and tribulations along the way, and I think you lean on all your past experiences, both good and bad. I think just like I said, just trying to be as consistent as possible and try to uphold the standard for everything we do, and I think that's so important in terms of just trying to get the results that you want and generate the consistency that we would like to see.
What do you know about Justin Hollins?
Not a lot. I know we've played him before in the past. I know Joe Barry obviously is very, very familiar with him. I know he's a big guy that runs really well. So I can't wait to meet him. I haven't met him yet.
I'll say, is he here, or is it Thanksgiving kind of a problem getting here?
No, he's here. I know he's in the building, and I just haven't met him yet.
But you need another guy at that spot, then, is that kind of what it boils down to?
I think it was an opportunity that I think he'll have just a quicker transition in terms of learning the terminology and understanding the basic concepts of the defense. So hopefully that'll give him an opportunity to get out there a little bit quicker than maybe just some guy that hasn't been accustomed to this style of system.
I know we'll find out when we get down there, but is Devondre making progress? It sounded like you guys were optimistic a couple weeks ago, and now maybe it doesn't feel quite as optimistic.
Yeah, no, he's making progress. It's just every, situation's a little bit different. He won't be practicing today, but he'll still be going through his rehab.
It's good. Thank you.
All right.
Is mac and cheese a Thanksgiving dish?
Mac and cheese?
Yep.
I don't know. It depends. Probably. I've got 2 kids at home, so I'm sure that'll be part of it.
That's the go-to for kids.
Yeah, always. So, hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.